So this here is a Tombow dual brush pen, I believe. Calligraphy pen. Actually, I don't know the correct English name for it because all of the wording on the packet I think is in like Japanese. Anyway, here is the correct English name that's going to appear on the screen. Thank you, future me, for fixing that. I like giving jobs to future me. He doesn't seem to like it though, but anyway, that's his problem. So this pen has got dual marker tips on it. And these marker tips have that nice kind of smooth, rubbery feel that the Tombow Fude no Souk calligraphy brush pens have, with a similar level of softness as the Fude no Souk, if that's how you pronounce it, I can't remember, soft models of brushes, because they also come in hard models, but this one feels soft, I don't know. The model letterings on this pen actually says WSTBS, and usually the BS on the end stands for brush soft. In fact, it almost feels vaguely softer than the Fude no Souk brush soft one. So anyway, so the main feature of this pen is that it has two pens in one. More fun for everyone. So one side contains a black ink and the opposite side contains a grey ink. And both of these inks seem to be of the pigment variety too. So they're highly water resistant. Now when I started using the black side of the pen, I was like, oh, now that feels really nice. You know that feeling when you draw with a fiber tipped pen? It has that ultra subtle feeling of like something a little bit rough or hairy, you know? It's very vague, but it is there. Sort of reminds me of the sensation you get when rubbing your finger on a cotton t-shirt or something, if that makes any sense. Anyway, that's pretty common with those so-called brush pen marker pens. But these Tombow brush pens, they don't have that. As I mentioned before, it feels kind of smooth and rubbery, but it still gives you that bit of friction on the paper for controllability, but without that fibrous texture between the marker tip and the paper. And I think that feels fantastic. But when I tried the grey end, it didn't feel exactly like the black end, unfortunately. In fact, it felt a bit dry. And I thought, oh, why is it so dry? The only reason I could think of is maybe this is old stock or something. It's been sitting around for too long and one end of the pen has dried out. So I tried to see if it was possible to refill the thing. And just with a tiny bit of work and a pair of pliers, after you remove the pen cap, you can grab the end of the pen, you can yank it out, just like so, which reveals this cylinder of sponge that holds the ink. So I just put a few droplets of water in there, probably about 4, I think, because it was pretty dry actually. And then almost immediately, after reassembling it, of course, it felt fantastic. I was like, oh, wow, you can refill these things as well. Because usually companies will make sure that the ink runs out long before the nib runs out. That way the line quality is always preserved. It looks like with this thing, it's easy to get the last remaining bit of life out of the nib, so that's good to see. But there was one thing that really surprised me about the design of this pen. I expected both ends of the pen to be essentially two individual pens kind of stuck together, so they have separate ink compartments. But it seems with this one, both foam ink holding sponges shares exactly the same barrel. Like if you blow a tiny bit of compressed air on one end of the pen, ink will come out of the other side of the pen. I first became aware of this design choice when I was using the pen with both caps off. So I would use one side of the pen, then I'll flip it upside down and use the other side immediately without removing any of the caps. This turned out to be not a very good idea. It increases the ink flow of the side you're using quite a lot by not having the pen cap on the other end of the pen. Then all you need is just a gentle shake and ink flies all over the place. And it's quite permanent too, so requires a bit of scrubbing, as I've found. So keep those pen caps on. Always keep at least one pen cap on when you're using it. It's hard to keep two on because then you wouldn't be able to use it. Anyway, the pen caps can be posted on top of one another, so that's also good. Now, just I've got to see if I can think of anything bad to say about it. It doesn't sound like a decent, fair review if I can't say something really bad about it. It's hard. I really enjoyed using it. Okay, maybe this. I don't know why it exists, because I'm just trying to think of some kind of scenario where this pen would be absolutely necessary. Like what kind of space constraints would you have to be under Or you can't take 2 pens with you, one with dark ink and light grey ink in it, you know? Why only 1 pen? Why do you need 2 pens in 1 pen? Is it just a gimmick? Does it save you a very vague amount of time from swapping pens? I just don't know. Speaking of things I don't know how to finish this video. Did you like the comic I was drawing? And I haven't been drawing much recently. I think I need to practice more. I feel a bit rusty. I should probably look up how much it costs or something, I don't know. I've been calling it a dual brush pen, but it's not that, because Tombow makes those big long dual brush pens which contain a dye-based ink, but this is a pigment one, so what? It's the Tombow Fude No Sook twin tip black/grey pen. And it's only a little bit more expensive than the one with a single pen tip on it, so that's not too bad actually, yeah. Anyway, take care and draw with whatever. Bye.